All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we are doing third round playoff predictions. Now a quick recap on the second round predictions. I did pretty good, 3 for 4. Now, the biggest problem with my second round predictions is my championship winner lost. Now I say that's my biggest problem in regards to my predictions. In regards to what's more fun for the NBA, I think most people can agree the Knicks winning would be more entertaining because that means we get a new champion between OKC Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, Pacers, and the Knicks. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly fix this now. Again, I do want to be transparent. My original pick was the Celtics. I think I had Celtics in 5 too, so that was pretty damning. I had Pacers. I don't even think I put a game to it. I just had Pacers. Thunder I had in 5. Totally wrong, but still had the Thunder. And then Timberwolves I had in 6, I believe. Could be wrong. I don't think I said 7. I think I said 6, and it was in 5. Granted, Curry got hurt, so that changed everything. Anyway, what we do have is a very good third round between OKC Thunder and Minnesota Timberwolves for the Western side. Eastern side, Pacers and Knicks. Like I said, a new champion will be crowned. Legacies will be cemented with their respective organizations. The storyline for the Thunder, if they win the championship this year, they could be building towards, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a dynasty, but let's be honest, like they have the young core. They have the draft assets. Like they could be a problem for a very, very long time and win multiple championships. The Minnesota Timberwolves, their storyline is Anthony Edwards would be so beloved by Minnesota for honestly forever. I mean, he's the guy whom, when he got there, everyone, believed that, he was athletic, he was a beast, but to take it this far this soon, I don't think anyone had that on their bingo card. Julius Randle would absolutely rewrite the way people see him, and honestly, he already has. Nobody saw him as a winning player, but I mean, damn, he's really changed that narrative. Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton would absolutely cement that the Pacers, absolutely lopsided trade between Sabonis and the Halliburton swap. Pacers would cement that. They would also cement the overrated chants are overused and dumb and not true if the Pacers could win. And all in all, it would just be a big deal for Indiana because they didn't come to this season with those championship aspirations. I mean, the Pacers fandom may have, I don't even think they would be honest with you and say a championship was going to be, the banner was going to be hanged. I mean, damn, they have an opportunity now. This is wide open. Knicks, Jalen Brunson would be the king of New York. Some people might say he is. Some people might hear that and think that's stupid. Well, no, this person's the king of New York. Nevertheless, New York has absolutely rallied around the Knicks, and people are going bananas. You guys have seen the videos, and if you haven't, I don't know how you haven't. If you're an NBA fan, I don't know how you haven't seen how crazy the Knicks fans have been. But in the off chance you haven't seen that, can you just type in New York Knicks fans? I guarantee you the videos will pop up. I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, let's make these predictions. Let's talk about it. Thunder versus Timberwolves. How do I have it? Give me the Thunder in 6. Now, a lot of people might agree with me on this one just because the Thunder have been the best team in the regular season. They've been consistent through and through. They've been beating all these top-notch teams. They go against Grizzlies, handle business. Go against Nuggets. The biggest problem for the Thunder is they are very inexperienced in those late game situations, and it really showed. Nuggets leaned on their experience. They leaned on their veterans. Thunder oftentimes faltered and crumbled early in those late game windows where you're like, damn, it's clutch time. Why are they not doing what they need to do? And to be honest with you, I think this Nuggets series really helped them. They went to 7. They experienced the nerves. They experienced the late game madness. They lost to some Aaron Gordon threes. They experienced that. That experience is going to really, really help push them through. Now, in regards to matchups, let's talk about it. Timberwolves, lengthy. They're going to be a problem on defense for the Thunder. But the problem for the Timberwolves is the Thunder just shoot at a volume. And even if they're missing, they can do their best offensively to offset that by their elite defense. Talking about their elite defense, Lou Dort's probably going to be on Ant. But Ant is so good that Ant's going to do what he does anyway. There's going to be some doubling on Ant. Isaiah Hartenstein is going to absolutely negate Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is not an offensive threat. Even that lob threat should be gone as long as Isaiah Hartenstein is able to hold it down. Chet Holmgren is going to be on Julius Randle. You know, Chet Holmgren lengthwise is going to be pretty solid, but Julius is going to be really, really strong and definitely push him. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to keep an eye on. As far as the role players of the Timberwolves, it's going to be a bit more difficult for them because I don't see the Thunder giving up as many open shots as the Warriors did. Now, if you saw my video on how the Timberwolves are so good, they do a lot of drive and kick. Now, with the Thunder, they're a lot more fast on the defensive rotations than the Warriors. I think the Warriors rely a lot on Draymond, as to where the Thunder, they have just a lot of defensive prowess with their speed and being able to, again, make those rotations. Guys are super locked in. You know, you have Shea, who's a good defender. J-Dub is a great defender. Dort is a great defender. Isaiah Hartenstein is a really good defender in terms of just protecting the paint and doing what he has to do against other bigs. Chet Holmgren's a great defender. Even off the bench, Alex Caruso is a great defender. Cason Wallace is a really, really good defender. Aaron Wiggins has been hustling and has been making the most and has made strides. But offensively is where Aaron Wiggins really shines. But you can see what I'm saying about the Thunder is defense really is just not an issue. Now, it goes, of course, same thing with the Timberwolves is they play really physical defense. But again, both of these teams, offensively at their hottest, Thunder have been significantly better throughout the season and even in the playoffs when they're at their hottest. Right? So the best version of these teams, I would go to Thunder. When the Thunder aren't bringing it offensively, their defense is so top-notch. It is really difficult to imagine this team not being able to pull through. In regards to the best versus best matchup, Shea versus Ant, I think Ant's highs are just naturally going to be higher because he's the kind of guy who is just going to bomb you with threes. Shea's going to be a lot more steady with the mid-range twos. So visually, it'll look like Ant's highs are higher. But in terms of just the grit and grind, every play down the court, Shea's going to be far more consistent. So I think that's also going to show throughout this series. The Shea's consistency is just ultimately going to push him through, right? You can't have Ant go 0 for 10 like he did against the Warriors. I mean, they did lose that game, though. In defense of what the argument I'm making is Ant won't get away with that. They did lose the game. But also, Timberwolves playing against the Warriors without Curry. Timberwolves are still a really good team. Don't get me wrong. You don't get here without being a really good team. That's just a fact. If you're in the Final Four, you're a good team. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But with that being said, they weren't as tested as the Thunder. So you could argue the Thunder might be more tired. But the Thunder, the only knock on them really was their inexperience. And they just went through a series where they really learned a lot. And they learned a lot about themselves. So again, I'm going to go with Thunder in 6. Moving on to the Pacers and Knicks. This is one of those situations to where you could really go either way. If somebody went on here and said the Knicks, I don't think you're stupid. If somebody went on here and said the Pacers, I don't think you're stupid. Reason being is because these teams are similar in that no one expected them to do this, right? It was the Cavs, it was Boston. That was the expectations. And who has the best player between both teams? Jalen Brunson. But that doesn't necessarily solve the Knicks' issues against the Pacers here. And let me elaborate what I mean by that. The Pacers rely on depth. They rely on several players, right, to do everything. The Knicks have such a small rotation. I mean, let me pull this up because I think this is going to be really, really important for context as to why I'm saying what I'm saying. Cam Payne, 4 minutes. 4 minutes for Cam. Miles McBride, 16. Mitchell Robinson, 22. That's the rotation. That is what they do. The Knicks are not someone who are going to rely on several different people. It is Tom Thibodeau. What is he notorious for? You guys know what he's notorious for. He's really going to be using a smaller group. Let's look at the Pacers. Game 1, they used 6 guys off their bench. They played 11 players in total. The Pacers is an entire group effort. Game 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Is that 12? Am I seeing this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 guys? 12 guys for game 2? The Pacers play so many guys, and okay, now this is the part where you're thinking, okay, but why does this matter? It matters because the Pacers play so fast. You guys, if you've seen the games, they play fast. The Knicks, it's just going to be tiring. It's going to be exhausting. Game 1, towards the end of the game, the legs for the Knicks are going to be tired. Now imagine going to game 5. How much more tired are you going to be? They're not getting long days of rest, right? It's the one day go. They might get 2 days here and there, but Knicks are going to be tired. So for that reason, and obviously I have more, but that is a huge reason that I feel like not a lot of people are talking about. Pacers play so fast. They're in a way a counter to Tom Thibodeau's strategy, because you're asking your guys, especially someone like McCall, to move his ass defensively the way he is, and to catch his breath offensively, he's just going to have to sit in the corner 3 spot because he's going to need to catch his breath. Pacers are going to be, it's like in hockey, when you got guys that are on the ice for so long, you got to just get them out. You got to give them some fresh legs. In the NBA, obviously, it's not that drastic where guys can only be in at 3 minutes at a time or 4 minutes at a time or whatever the case may be. But over the course of a game, it's going to affect these players. And who's going to be ready? Who's going to be locked in? The Pacers with the constant movement. Let's go. We use everyone. We do everything. We got guys all over the court who are able to shoot the ball. So you can't just be relaxed. So there's no real off possessions defensively for the Knicks. Because think about it. Let's pull up the Pacers starting lineup. At the 5, you have Miles Turner. What is he? He's a 3-point shooter. So there's no off possessions for Cat. Let's talk about the 4, Pascal Siakam. He's their second best player. For Josh Hart, I think Josh Hart's the 4, right? Or OG. Regardless, no off possession. Neesmith, shooter. No off possession for McCall. If that's who McCall guards, I doubt it. I mean, I guess you never know. Nembhard, shooter. No chill possessions for OG. Tyrese. Again, I'm saying these names just to match the positions, not so much as... I don't think OG's going to guard Nembhard. You know what I mean? Anyway, Tyrese. Point guard. You already know he's the best player on the team. Whoever's guarding him, and again, just using Jalen Brunson here because he's the next point guard for the other team. How the hell are you going to have possessions to where you can be a little bit more relaxed? They're going to be so gassed, bro. They're going to be so gassed. Pacers are like the one team in the NBA that like truly just counter the strategy of the Knicks in regards to their rotations. Defensively too, the Pacers are so good. I think they're one of the most underrated defensive teams when it hits playoffs, because during the regular season it's not the case, but especially during the playoffs when every possession matters, they got guys who are really just willing to do the grit and grind. I mean, Neesmith and Nembhard are just 2 players who do not get enough recognition for what they do. They're such physical defenders. They're super scrappy. I mean, they're willing to do anything for this team. Tyrese is the only defender on the Pacers who you're like, man, I wish he was a bit of a better defender. It's not necessarily because he's not trying. It's just not really something. It's not his strong suit, right? His strong suit is he's going to choose how to carry the tempo of the offense. And let's be honest, the Pacers are going to have to play fast. There is no way they don't recognize the Knicks have a small rotation. They know that. So they're going to be they're choosing to up the pace. And then also the pace has always favored the Pacers. I mean, like I said, fast break wise, all their guys can go. Everyone on a fast break can move up the court. Also, defensively, they're able to, because they're quick enough and they're lengthy enough, right? I'm not saying they're a lengthy team, but they're lengthy enough to be able to, disturb oncoming players who are attacking the basket. So the shooting, the strategy to me is got to be a huge advantage to the Knicks. To the Pacers. I would say the Knicks' advantage going into the series, more than anything, is they have the best player and arguably just the best defender in OG. I don't think there's a better defender than OG in this series. For the Knicks, what you're leaning on is you're going to be clutch as hell. You're a super clutch team. You're going to have a super crazy home fan base. I mean, let's be honest, though, it's the playoffs. I think all four will be crazy at this point. But just looking at things that'll go in favor of the Knicks. But again, Jalen Brunson, 5 minutes to go. Who in the NBA has been better with 5 minutes to go than Jalen Brunson this season? Those moments matter. But I just don't want to pretend like Pacers can't do what they need to do. Anyway, I'm taking Pacers also in 6. This could go 7. And honestly, Pacers could win. I mean, Knicks could win too. This is definitely more of a coin toss, I feel like, than the Thunder and Timberwolves. This, to me, is going to be the more entertaining series, right? I feel like you're going to get a game where Thunder absolutely just blow out the Timberwolves. I almost feel like that's just almost like it's a guarantee that there will be a game where Thunder blow out the Timberwolves. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. To me, it's getting good. My finals winner is still going to be Thunder. I make the predictions as they come. I said still going to be Thunder, but what I meant by still is I had them playing against the Knicks anyways, or the Boston Celtics anyways. So naturally, I'm going to lean towards them no matter who they play since the Celtics are out now. But anyway, like I said, Thunder 6, Pacers 6. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Again, I want to know what you guys think. If you were to like, subscribe, it goes a long way to help the channel. This is All Even Different. And we out.